Gen Con is the largest board game convention in the United States of America, and since I live a hop, skip, and a jump away from it, I get to take home a lot of games. Let's talk about my Gen Con haul.
What does that even mean, Bowers Game Corner?
Hello there, YouTube. I'm back again today for another video, and today I'm going to be talking about every single game that I picked up at Gen Con this year. Specifically, I'm going to talk about how much I paid for it, if it was a review copy or not, and a little bit about the game and how excited I am for the game. So, starting off right now, what do we got? Marvel Battle World Ultimate Armor. This is from Funko. This is a mass market game. I've reviewed the original game because this is just like one of those booster packs. Like, you'll open it and there'll be like a surprise Marvel character in it. It comes in like a little egg, and then my kids can play with it. I was excited to let my kids have this one because I got a whole bunch of stuff from Funko, as you're about to say. So on the scale of excitement, pretty excited for that one. Did not pay for that one. Next one we got is Burger ASAP, the fast-flipping burger building game from Blue Orange. Apparently this one, Blue Orange, a lot of people at the convention this year, so they were selling like hotcakes. And he was like, yeah, I'd give you some other stuff, but we're completely sold out of a bunch of that other stuff. So they hooked me up with this one, Burger ASAP. I'm excited to do it. 100%. Who'll be the next burger ship? Flip and overlap your cards to build a burger. Cool. Sure, my kids will love it. I typically love Blue Orange games. I think they're fantastic. I probably reviewed like 50 of them. So that's one of those companies that, like, there's certain companies that I work with a lot more frequently just because they fit my style. I love family weight games, and you're going to see that a lot. One of the companies that I've never actually worked with before was KTBG, Kids Table Board Game. And they got a whole boatload. I think they got like 6 or 7 now of them, of these lighter weight games. So pretty much intro. So this is like the intro to deck building or the intro to worker placement games. And this one is Haunt the House. It's for 2 to 5 players, ages 8+, 30 minutes to play. Pesky ghost hunters are sneaking through the haunted hallways of your mysterious manor. Show the other spooks that you're the most fearsome frightener and scare them out. I'm excited to play this with my kids. Everything I got from them was like a 9 or 10 I'm excited about. And I went to the booth, and in case and actually, you know what? I'll give you a little bit of the behind the scenes, how I got each one of them. Funko Games. Last year, I typically schedule with them so I can do interviews. However, I didn't do many interviews this year. So I walked up to the booth and I said, hey, my name's Forrest Bauer. I've done some work from you before. And he's like, oh, yeah, I think I've seen your stuff. And it pretty much was like, here's some of our newest stuff. What are you interested in? So that's how the Funko one worked. Likewise, I was actually looking at one of the specific games that I'm going to show you from Blue Orange. I walked up to them. They recognized me. We have a working relationship. And he's like, yeah, pretty much like, what do you want to get from here? And I was like, that was a different one. He's like, yeah, this is what we got. You can have this one, because a lot of them were sold out. They also have a fantastic position, Blue Orange Games do. They're right next to a door, so everybody sees them. And then Kids Table Board Games, Sean works there. And oh my gosh, Sean is one of the best people in the entire industry. Like, if I ever started a board game company, I was a millionaire, I would go hire Sean immediately. He's really good at what he does. Used to be with Simon, now he's with Kid Table Board Game. They snatched him up. Good call on that. And so, yeah, he's like, oh yeah, you haven't covered any of these, so let's get that fixed. Continuing onward, we have Mortem, Medieval Detective The Shelter, and this one is from Arcane Wonders. And this one is also a free copy. I reviewed Mortem. I really enjoyed Mortem. It's right over there, and I'm excited to get to this one. This is one of the few that I actually, typically, I used to ask for a lot more review copies. I don't do that now. And blunt honesty here, the reason why I think a lot of board game hobbyists get burnt out is you take too many games and then you don't do content on those games, or you don't do timely content on those games, and then it gets weird, and then it festers, and it might not even fester with the other person. The other person might have completely forgot about it. There's been tons of companies who just are like, oh, we didn't realize if you covered it or not. Like, some companies don't keep good track of that, or they do it through a third-party source or things like that. But yeah, back to the point. So this is from Arcane Wonders, and I pretty much just walked up and was like, hey, I reviewed the original one of this. You cool if I grab this? And Rob was like, yeah, he's got it, and I walked away with it. Yeah, I really like this. It's a really interesting choose your path game. Check out Mortem. Anywho, continuing on, another Blue Orange one. We got Bag of Chips, the salty and tasty game. This one comes in a bag. I thought it was nifty. It's a little press your luck style game. We were going to play it when we were at Gen Con, and we went to this restaurant, this Mexican restaurant, which was delightful, by the way. But the music was insanely loud. Like, I legit thought that there was a dance club in the back of this place. It was so loud they were playing dance music. And I kid you not, I'm not even joking. It was people's birthdays, and all of a sudden we hear like a marching band, and there's like 2 or 3 of the people that are employed there with like these huge drums, like blah, 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 and it was like they do like this huge song and dance where it's like it looks like they just ripped some people from like a halftime band of a local high school football game. So we weren't able to play it because we couldn't hear anything, but great Mexican restaurant. Coco Nana. This one is from Kids Cable Board Game as well. They brought it up from Hoochie and Friends. I don't know anything about this game. He said this was a good one, so I'm excited to try it out. Anytime you get kids games, I'm in. Next, we have The Great American Mail Race. And this one is from Big Potato Games, a company that I work with quite a lot as well. They're really all about making games that are pretty inclusive. And what I mean by that is that nearly anybody can play the majority of their games, but every once in a while they dig into like slightly heavier strategy ones, and I think this was it, but they partnered with the U.S., this was so cool, they partnered with the United States Postal Service, and they showed up in a USPS truck. So yeah, like this truck right here was at their booth. This was pretty much their booth, and then they had the picnic table set up. And it was genius. I was actually talking to them afterwards. They said I think they said 500 copies of the game in there, and they just drove it through the back door and unloaded it, and it worked out perfectly well. And it was a spectacle. It was a show. It was fantastic. And then they couldn't get it started the last day. So I'm very interested to see how they did that. They were talking about maybe getting it jumped by the monster truck that was there. I thought that'd be a great picture. I did not pay for this one, but I'm very excited to check it out because I typically enjoy Big Potato Games games. They do a very good job, I think, at vetting their games to make sure that none of their games I think I've ever played were sucked. Where it's like, oh, this isn't good. Most of the time I'm like, I like this, or at the very least I can be like, yeah, I think a lot of people are going to like this. So excited to check this one out. Also saw a lot of people talking about that game as well. Free copy. So next, very excited. I haven't had a relationship with Haba in the last few years. So Haba, the last person that did it was very much like, oh, you got to be on the email list and you got to make sure you contact me beforehand. And I'm not knocking that at all. It's just I am very scatterbrained. If you're newer to the channel, you might not know that, but I'm all over the board with ADHD. So they have something different doing it now. And I was like, hey, I've worked with you guys in the past. You doing any review copies of the show? And with Haba, so this is my review thing. I very seldom pay for games at conventions. And the reason why is I have tons of games to play. I already have so many games. And me and my family are not the most financially comfortable. So I would just feel like if I'm going out and spending $60 on a game, typically I would feel bad about that. But when they're kids' games, it's a whole different thing because then it's for the channel and then it's for my kids. That being said, in the past, I have gone, Haba would be like, all right, halfsies. If you're going to spend, you're going to ask for $200 of review stuff, you pay half of it, $100, boom, you're out. This time they just hooked me up all 3 of these. I'm very excited. And they said to email after the show because there's one that was nearly sold out and they didn't want to give it to me. It was really hot. And so I'm excited to check that one out. But this one is Moonlight Castle. And this one's really cool. It has like a conveyor belt system in the middle that goes through this little castle. I don't actually understand at all what's going in the game, but it's Haba and has a cool castle in the middle. It's a conveyor belt. I'm excited to play this one. Also, Monster Munch, a yummy, yucky memory game. And you'll see on the back, this is actually a demo game. And that's one thing you'll get a lot as a reviewer as well. You'll have some companies, because you might say to yourself, well, why don't they... Why would they not want to give you a review copy? And a lot of times it'll be like, oh, you're not big enough, or there's a lot of different reasons why. But the main reason why is if they're going to sell out of that game, would they rather have money in their pocket right now than and I mean, it just makes sense, especially considering it costs a lot to go to Gen Con. So a lot of times they'll hand out demo copies, and so that's why I'll have a lot more success on like Sundays. They'll be like, hey, come back on Sunday, we'll see what we have, and now we'll throw you like a demo copy or something like that. And a lot of times they'll be bumped or bruised or whatever, but who cares? It's about the game. But anywho, Monster Munch, giving you a lot of the behind the scenes. So 2 to 4 players, ages 5+. I was super excited to play with my kids. It's like a press your luck memory style game. I ran a tournament with it. It looked fun. Next, the one I was super excited about, another one in their ages 2+ line. They have a special My Very First Games line, Haba does, which, by the way, if you don't know about Haba Games and you have kids, let's fix that right now. Click on that subscribe button. Go check out all the Haba videos I've done, because Haba's amazing. I'm glad I'm back on their good sides of not having to email beforehand. Ew. Hey, there's my badge flag. This one's like a big wooden one where you got to look inside the holes. I don't know what it was. I saw the ages 2+ on it. I freaked out because I love young children's games because my degree is in early childhood education. Anywho, Arcana Rising. This one is from Gray Fox Games. I'm very good friends with Lance Meister, aka the Undead Viking, who also works for them. And so Sunday, last day, despite the fact they pretty much sold nearly everything. Like their booth, I went by their booth Saturday evening, and it was like a barren. It was like their shelves were empty and stuff, that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. That means they're selling everything. And a lot of companies were like that. They were like, we did not bring enough. I think it was Elf Creek Games actually went back to, I think they're from Champaign, Illinois, to get more games because they sold out. And it's like, that's a good problem to have. But if you're not close enough, then that's not feasible. But yeah. Anyway, this is Arcana Rising. This is the non-Kickstarter version. He's like, you don't get the pretty version. I was like, whatever, I don't care. I know nothing about this game except that Lance has talked it up a good deal. But that's kind of his job. Either way, it's 1 to 6 players in 30 to 60 minutes, and that gets me very excited. That tells me that is the kind of thing where if it goes over well, that's going to hit my game night routinely. Now, let's get to the only game I paid for. I'm looking at all the games. I don't think I bought more than one game, and there's only one game that I paid for. And the only reason I did was because I couldn't even ask for a review copy because I didn't even know who to talk to. And that is Twilight Inscription, the epic roll and write experience based in the Twilight Imperium Universe. Both me and Adam actually got a copy of this. But this was one, it was limited to 50 a day. They only gave out 50 every single day. And I was very concerned about whether or not I was going to be able to get it because the first 50 people get there, wink, wink, nod, nod. But if you're an exhibitor, you get in early and you can get in that line earlier. And I'm not saying that in a negative way by any stretch of the imagination, because those are just regular gamers too. You know, if somebody's, volunteering at the Haba booth and they want to be able to get Twilight Inscription, they absolutely should be in the front of the line. I'm not dogging that. I'm just saying, logistically speaking, it meant I had to run, which you don't do, so I didn't do because I'm not going to confess that, but I might have almost ran. So I had to, but luckily I mapped it out. Me and Adam knew exactly which way we were going, and we looked at the map, and that's why we were the first people actually to get there, because we knew which way to go. Anywho, Twilight Inscription's a massive roll and write game. It took up a huge chunk of space. It's 2 hours, and I'm super excited. It's going to get played this Wednesday, and there's going to be a Thoughts from the Corner on Thursday, and if there's not, that's going to be me being sad, because it means I didn't get to play it. I might play it solo before then. I'm so excited to play that game. Anywho, next we had City Builder, Ancient World from Inside Up Games. Connor McGooey, super nice dude, is the designer of this game and also the person behind Inside Up Games. And we have a pretty good relationship. I mean, I did a Kickstarter video for one of his first games, Summit, which is still now an evergreen game for him because, Matt Stone or Trey Parker. It's Trey Parker, I think, of South Park fame, said it was his favorite board game of all time. And he's implemented, if you're not aware of this, a lot of different real-life board games into, Dead of Winter has been in South Park before, into South Park. And so, so obviously he reaped the benefits of that. And I went over there and I was talking to him and I was like, I don't think I've covered anything of yours since, that. And so he hooked me up with the City Builder, Ancient World, and Quick in the Undead. There was another game that I could have also grabbed, but I didn't want to over-grab because it's bad, and I've done it before, and it's Shame Forest. That's the old Shame Forest. No more. This is the good forest. This is the forest who vets it and says, all right, every single kid's game I'm going to be able to play because I have a 6 and 9-year-old beating down my door to play games right now, which I love, by the way. Anywho, continuing on, we have Long Shot. This one's for Perplexed. This is one of the few games that I really wanted a review copy of, and I walked up to their booth and I was like, oh my gosh. I got the pitch first. And the reason why is I just love horse racing. I absolutely love horse racing. And plus I saw this had a Dice Tower Seal of Excellence on it. Anytime I see that, I'm excited. 25 minutes, 1 to 8 players. It's a horse race. I'm excited. It's based off Long Shot, which is a popular game. I don't think I've ever played the original game, though. Apparently it's really good, though. Did not pay for that one. We have 2 more from Kids Table Board Games. We have Problem Picnic, Attack of the Ants, and then Food Fighters. I was really excited for Food Fighters just because I love the artwork on it, and Problem Picnic I've actually heard good things about. That being said, I don't know anything else about this game, but I'm really excited to play them with my kids. Continuing on. The one game that I specifically really, really wanted from Blue Orange Games, Dragomino. This is pretty much my first King Domino, which is a game I also really enjoy. I still own it, and I still own, I think I kept King Domino Origins. I think I'm going to get rid of that one, though, eventually. I just don't see it in the table with King Domino, even though I think it is a slightly better game, but not with the expansions. But that's not the point of this video. Dragomino, ages 5+, 2 to 4 players, ages 15. Yeah, I'm just excited for it. It's my first King Domino, and I have kids. you'll get it. Next, we have Match Madness Duo and Match Madness. So Foxmine, another company that does a lot of really fantastic kids games. And you might not have heard of Foxmine, or you might not know you have, because I don't feel like they really have that big breakout hit. They just have a lot of really good stuff. But Match Madness apparently is that big breakout hit that I don't know about. But this is more like the mass market style hit. And they were like, this is an older game, but we're always looking for more coverage on it because we just got Match Madness Duo, which is the new one. So they sent me with both of them, and I'm excited to play them because my kids already looked at them and they thought they looked cool. Plus, they have these really interesting dice. Don't use your teeth. I shouldn't use my teeth. It's terrible. I'm going to regret it in like 15 years. But I want to show you this quickly, and I didn't feel like I could just stall by talking. And now you're tricked into thinking I'm not stalling because I'm doing stuff, but I'm actually just stalled long enough to show you these cool dice. Yeah, they're like these weird squarish dice. You put them together. It looks cool. Looks fun. And they're an awesome company as well. They're also going to send me another game in the mail, which I'm really excited about, which is their sports dice football, or soccer. It's a really fun game. The sports dice series in general, look those up. They're really good. They're really fun sports game if you like sports. And they're like, anywho, the most interesting game potentially that I got to show, the collector's item, is eBay Buy It Now. So this was a special giveaway, a Gen Con exclusive that eBay was doing. And I asked them this, I don't think they announced it, but they only made 5,000 copies. They did a 5,000 print run of this game, and then presumably it will never exist ever again. We sat down, we shot a gameplay of this. It's a decent little auction game. I don't think it's amazing. There's a little wonkiness here. I think it could have been balanced better for the higher player counts. I think it's going to be much better at 4 and 3 than it is at 2. But still, it's a solid game. And so pretty much all you had to do was be an eBay member. And so there was just someone who was like, all right, they pretty much just took your eBay name, but they didn't verify it. They didn't ask for ID. You could have literally wrote down, "You suck eBay," and they would be like, "Here you go." But it was weird. They didn't do it at their booth. And by the way, I got to talk. I'm just bursting with Gen Con right now. They had something amazing I've never seen before in my life. They had a 2-story booth. Like, it was here, and then there was actual stairs, and then there was a glass room up top. It was fascinating. It overlooked the entire thing. You could see it all around pretty much the convention. Well, not all around the convention. You could see it very far and wide in the exhibit hall. Their booth itself, though, it sucked. They didn't hand out the games there. They handed them out in like a completely different thing. And then a bunch of people didn't know they were handing out the game because they did it in a really weird location, which doesn't get massive amounts of foot traffic like their booth does. And so I say to myself, eBay, what the hell? You're so weird. I know. It's weird you're here at Gen Con. I mean, don't get me wrong. What they're doing is like hiding boxes. They hit a bunch of boxes with like magic and valuable stuff in them, which is cool. I love it. It's just do something else with your booth aside from... And everybody there just looked kind of bored. It's like... it was weird. It's a weird booth. I'm glad eBay's here. Makes Gen Con bigger. They have an amazing booth logistically. Because like I said, second floor. Yeah, of a booth. It was a second floor of a booth. It blows my mind. Big glass room up there. Had to cost tons of cash. Anywho, another one from Funko. We have three in a row from Funko, and then one special game. Apparently there's only one copy in the United States of America, and I have it. Well, unless, people like imported it. But I mean, like, of reviewers. I think I have the only one. It's pretty cool. Anywho, talk about that one later. Next we have Rear Window, Alfred Hitchcock. This one was from Funko, and honestly I didn't have any plans of asking for it, but then he gave me the pitch of it. I was like, oh, that sounds really good. Plus I know there's a Rodney How to Play video on it, Watch It Played, which, done. That means my job is literally press a play button on the iPad and then play it at Game Now, and then I can shoot a video for it. So I was like, this is an easy video here. And it's a 1 versus all game. I was very excited about this one. Anywho, continuing on with the Funko, we have Disney's The Haunted Mansion, which includes glow-in-the-dark ghost miniatures. It looked cool. It's cooperative, I do believe. He said cooperative, and I immediately was like, yeah, that sounds cool. So we threw it on the pile. And then they had one of the big releases, and another badge flag. They're coming off everywhere. This one was one of the big releases that Funko did, and it was cool. They had the voice actors for both Goofy and Max of a Goofy movie at their booth, and it has 6 minifigures in it. Pretty much you're going across the country, going to the Power Max concert, and trying to have a great time with your dad. It looks like a cool game. I'm excited to get to the table just because I like the movie a lot. And the last game that I got at Gen Con 2022 was Sounds Fishy. And this was a really interesting one. So I was talking to Massimo of Big Potato Games. Super nice. And so he hooked me up with that one. And then he's like, actually, take this one. He's like, this is the only copy in America. We're about to be bringing it out. But it's massively popular over in Europe, he said. Like, this thing is like one of their best sellers over in Europe. And I don't know anything about it, but it's 4 to 10 players, so hopefully I get this one to the table at game night. Can you spot the fake answer? Sounds fishy is a party game filled with strange questions and fishy answers. Anywho, looks cool, and it has a watch it played in the back, I think? Or, yeah. Anywho, sounds fishy. Apparently, you want to sound tech? You just be like, yeah, this one's... I don't know what I'm saying. It's very tired, very long weekend. Anywho, that was my Gen Con haul. And overall, how would I rate my haul? I guess that's a thing people do. For me, I'm very happy with it. Have I had larger hauls? Yeah, I've had massively, much larger hauls. There's been years where I've specifically been like, I'm going to try and do as many games as I could. Those were stupid. Don't ever do that. Get into content creation. Don't ever do that. You burn a lot of bridges. You wanted me to burn bridges. But you will. So now this time I tried to really vet it, get a lot of kids games, a lot of family games, and honestly, I'm really happy with what I got. And then the fact that I got Twilight Inscription, that makes me so happy. But let me know about let me know if you could take one game from my haul. Which game would it be? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, if you're enjoying the coverage, please be sure to click on that subscribe button down below. As I'm trying to reach 10,000 subscribers to celebrate 10-year anniversary. But I need to update that. It's actually like 99.50 right now. Well, thanks for your time, YouTube. This video is brought to you by all of my amazing Patreon supporters, and I would love it if you would join their ranks and have your name immortalized in the end of many of my videos for the end of time. But consider for only $1 a month, and as always, thanks for stopping by.